Let's focus on the side imaging section now. So my Humminbird Apex 13 on the right side is solely dedicated to side scanning, mega side imaging, because that is my eyes underneath the water that's showing me every piece of structure, every rock pile, stump, school of fish, school of bait. So I need this to be on top of its game. And the way I set mine up is pretty standard right out of the factory. The color palette I like the most is the brown number 4 palette. It really shows the difference in hard bottom versus soft bottom very well and makes fish pop really well. When you see fish suspended, you can see them casting a nice shadow and they're just very, very visible. Your sensitivity, I set mine at 12, and you simply turn the dial to change your sensitivity. You can see as I go higher, it's going to whitewash it out, and see how that kind of made that softer bottom appear hard. So I want a kind of a medium level of sensitivity. I want to go down to 12 where it really makes those shadows pop and I can see that white hard bottom. Your range, I set mine at 130 is what I've got right now. And what that means is this black line here in the middle, that is the boat. So if you picture that transducer, the way the side imaging works, it's like 2 flashlights shooting out to the side. So when you see a structure like that stump right there is casting a shadow, if you can picture the beams of that sonar shooting out, it's hitting the side of that stump and returning that back to the graph. And the length of that shadow tells me how tall that stump is off the bottom. So the longer the shadows are away, so when you're shining a flashlight and you're making hand puppets, the farther your hand is away, the bigger that shadow is going to be. Same way with this. The taller that shadow is, the bigger that piece of structure sticking up off the bottom of the lake. So now we're going to start idling. We're going to see if we can mark some structure, and I'll show you a couple of different screens that I utilize when I'm actually idling around trying to find different types of structure. So this is your standard side imaging screen. And as I said earlier, I've got it set to 130 feet on each side. So if you think about it, I'm looking at 260 feet right there in 13 inches, which is showing a beautiful clear picture. I can see all these little stumps here, big log laying on the bottom. And you can see here what I was talking about with that brown color palette. You can see that hard bottom, how you're falling off into the creek channel. This gray or blackish area is going to be softer, muddier, mucky bottom, and this hard bottom is going to return stronger signal. And that's where fish like to get. Everyone knows fish like to set on that hard bottom. You know, shad, your bait fish are going to utilize that hard bottom for feeding off algae and the plankton in the water if it's going to be more prevalent in that area. Bass know that, so they congregate on that hard bottom to kind of like a feeding table, like us sitting at the dinner table. That's the dinner table when you see that hard bottom and you have bait fish in the area. So this is the basic side imaging setup. But when I'm actually practicing for an event, I want the small little intricacies that I see on the bottom to really stand out. So what I do is I go to my views in my Apex and I build a custom view of a split side imaging screen. So this screen is going to show us the side imaging on the left and the right in a split screen mode. So you can see how it really blew it up, made it appear a lot bigger. So I just get more detail by having that split screen. And the way that works is, as I showed you earlier with the first screen, I'm looking at 260 feet in 13 inches. In this screen, I'm looking at 130 feet in 13 inches. So this is the boat, this is the boat. The top's looking to the left, the bottom portion is looking to the right, and I can see a lot better detail. And then it's a matter of just simply looking at your VX chip here. I see this hump and this point running out. So I'm gonna go over there and idle over it, see if we can mark some brush on it, see if there's any rock there, anything that might hold a fish. So one of the key things when I'm spending a lot of time side imaging is I want to look